Hello, everyone. Welcome back. You caught me in the act. You caught me in the act on the old Jack, Gentleman Jack. Welcome back to E20 Zone TV. Other whiskies are available. Hope everyone's all well out there. I thought I'd do this little sort of late night video to get your thoughts on what's really going on at West Ham. In the title, Tyler Morton and Omari Hutchinson are two players that's been linked with West Ham. And I'm here to talk about both of them, mate. But before we get started, please do smash a like on the video, subscribe to E20 Zone TV, and hit the notification bell. I see the chat, there's people in the chat, so I will just get straight to it, son. I'll just get straight to it. Um, Over the last sort of 48 hours, we've just been sort of nothing's really been happening, has it? Let's be real. And then obviously there's been stuff coming out tonight about Tyler Morton playing for England tomorrow, and obviously Omari Hutchinson. Now, with Hutchinson, I mentioned it on a video a few weeks ago that he's a player that has worked previously with Potter. He wouldn't cost an absolute fortune with Ipswich going down. And I think he's a player that he's worth taking the punt on because the age and the profile of the player. I just, I don't know. I don't know where we're going at the minute. And yeah, this is why I'm here to get your questions in and see what you think on the matter. But I like, as I say, I've always liked Murray Hutchinson. Like I liked him when he was at Chelsea. I think he started his career at Arsenal, if I remember rightly. Chelsea signed him, and then he went to Ipswich on a loan deal. And I think Ipswich signed him when I was in the League One. I think it was, or I think it was when they got promoted. Anyway, he's done all right since he's been at Ipswich, and possibly he could come to us, which would be a great signing. Do you know what I'm saying? Right, let's get to your comments to see what people are saying. Big up Jay and panel. There is no panel tonight, son. There's only me, mate. There's only me, myself, and I. So, Daz, hope you're well, mate. Let's have a look what we got here. He's got down here. Cresswell and Elliott for me. Cresswell, he used to play for Millwall, didn't he? So, for me, probably say no, but Elliott's a good player. The thing is, I just need to know if like what is really going on at our club. Do you know what I mean? No one really knows anything at the minute. You say anything on social media, people start going, "Oh, it's too early. It's too early," and I'm like, "Well, it ain't fucking too early because everyone else is doing business, but we're not. Why are we not doing our business at the minute?" Um, you either there's two ways of looking at West Ham currently right now. You either go all out and go in the Championship and just start nitpicking off all these clubs, like your Ipswiches, like your Boroughs. For I see Hackney being mentioned in the chat there, or you go big. But the problem is we've got no money, so we're going to have to go down that route at the end of the day. No way to know how anyone will pan out with us. Everything is a roll of a dice, to be honest. I just want to see some fit heartbeats at the moment. Yeah, mate, I'm going to be honest. Elliot, yes, but it's going to cost a lot. I'll take him on a loan to buy, mate. That's me, Ian. If I'm being honest, I'll take him on a loan to buy and see what the land lies with Liverpool. Or you pay for Tyler Morton at Liverpool and you loan Elliot. And if you get Tyler Morton and you loan Elliot, got two decent players there. I see people mentioning James McAtee. I don't think West Ham can afford him. That's the bottom line of it. I don't think we've got enough money to go out and afford these players. Yeah, Tyler Morton, I think we can afford because he's a player that is up and coming. He ain't going to get a shout at Liverpool, so he might as well just move on for the sake of his career. Done pretty well at Hull, I think he was at. Gio, the other day, I put a comment and I said, "What do you reckon on Tyler Morton?" He's not convinced. I'm the other way, though. I think he could be a very good player for us. You sort of player West Ham need. Bundles of energy, good on the ball, and that's what we need in the middle of the park. Let's get to this. How many of the youth will be sold for pure profit if we're really up shit streak? Do you know what, mate? I've got a feeling, yeah. I've got a feeling if he tries out Freddie Potts in the sort of pre-season, he don't fancy him. I think he's up. Oh, he's up for sale. That's what I believe. There's there's nothing been concrete about Freddie at the minute, and what do you do with him? you can't keep loaning the kid out because we're going to have another Connor Coventry situation, and we don't want that. Let's be honest. So what do you do? Do you try him and hope he works out, or do you sell him for profit? I honestly don't know. All I know is that we're not seeing any signings until a signing goes out the door, and that's probably looking like Mo. Now we'll get to Mo because it looks like he could be going to Newcastle. Do you know what I'm saying? One thing that someone asked me earlier, funny enough, would you take a decent enough fee in Harvey Barnes? I'll take Harvey Barnes, you know, man. If they offered Harvey Barnes up with a decent fee, I'll take Harvey Barnes all day long. We should have got him a few years ago, and obviously Newcastle got in there and got him before us. So, you know, I'll take Harvey Barnes. Let me know what you think in the chat there. What do you reckon Sullivan does if Jonathan David ends up picking us? Since the offer is still on the table, I'll be stunned if Jonathan David comes to West Ham, mate. No, absolute stunned. It would have to be sheer bribery to have the geezer at our club. Why would he want to come here? We can't offer him nothing other than first team football. We're not an attractive club at the minute, and that's the poor thing about it. We're just not a good look. So, what can we offer him? I don't think we can offer him anything. So, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Trust me, don't get me started about Sullivan, people. I mentioned one thing on tickers. Next thing you know, you're banned on there for a while. But I will return. Do you know what I'm saying? I will be returning on that. So, yeah, we are back and we'll be active. Let's get to Jay Woods. Shout out to that man. If we get 65 mil for Kudus, that's a lot for us to play with. But whether or not we're going to get it, mate. My fear with the Kudus situation currently right now is that clubs know that we're looking to sell him. So clubs ain't going to go in and sort of drop in high end money when there's not many clubs coming in for him. But when you look at Mo at the minute, are many clubs coming in and saying, yes, we've got to sign Mohamed Kudus from West Ham? There's not many. He's like the backup option if they can't get their main target, which is a bit of a worry for me because the longer that goes on, that's stopping us from getting deals done. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, I don't think he leaves here before August. I'll be stunned if he leaves within the next 4 weeks. I really will. Like, I think he goes away on pre-season with West Ham. I think beginning part of August, that's when the links will start getting ramped up again. The issue is where does it leave us as a club? Because we need signings, and we've got a player there that we can't get fucking rid of. So, you know, shout out to Samsey. Only team I can see moving for Kudus is Newcastle. That go back in for Alanga. We'll see for one or the other, innit? Evening, Tone. Hope you're well. Tony, if you want to come on, mate, links in the chat. Come on if you say about anything, if you fancy it. What we got? Let's get to this question from Michael. Shout out to Michael. What happens if no one comes in with a decent offer for Kudus and he stays? Do we sign no one then? That, Michael, is the $1 million question, my friend. And that is my worry. That we are pinning all our hopes on selling him. We can't sell him because a club were not prepared to match what the ownership want. So if just for argument's sake, the owners want 70 million for him, and the club's only going to come in with 55 mil. West Ham can't afford to take a 15 mil drop. So that's where my concern is with that right now. And I am concerned about that because I'm seeing a lot of links. I'm not seeing no bids being cemented, nothing moving without us trying to sell someone first. The Naya Faguerd situation also is baffling for me. Like, you've got a player there that everyone says, well, we can get rid of him. No one's really coming in with him. And now we've got links to Roma, saying Roma are interested. I did hear a rumour that Marseille were interested and all in Naya Faguerd, but it just seems like these clubs are interested and they're using our players as a backup option. And that's a concern for me, mate. That really is. Really is. What else we got here? We're relying on Pac-Man being cleared and selling him. Right, or I don't think he's getting cleared, mate. I don't want to be like negative or nothing. I really don't. But I believe, yeah, they will pin something on Paqueta and he will get banned. If he gets away with absolutely scot-free, then West Ham and Paqueta have got every right to go and sue the FA for everything that they've got. And I don't think it's going to work like that. I think they're going to have to try and find something on Paqueta. And when you look at it, even if it's something sort of trivial, right, it's going to stop them from getting sued. Because let's have it right. And now, someone said this to me the other day, and I was out having a few beers, enjoying my life at the weekend, and someone said to me, "Is the Paqueta situation from last year the problem? While we're in the situation now, probably. Like the Lucas Paqueta thing does bite us on the arse quite a lot, and we was looking to sell him last year for 85 mil, and technically we've lost out on him. So that's a worry. It really is. Let's get Tony and see what Tony's got to say. Tony, how you doing, mate? What you saying?
Yeah, I'm good, mate. I'm good. Just did a stream earlier on about the old Ramsdale rumour mill, so that was quite an interesting one.
Yeah,
but yeah, mate. I mean, just listen to what you're saying there. It just sums us up during this window, doesn't it? Just sums us up.
it's worrying, mate. But do you believe what I'm saying though in regards of that we have got to sell Kudus first before we sign anyone?
I think if we're that tight of money, we've said it before, mate. It seems to be that one player is going to change our fortunes, and unfortunately, it's Kudus is going to be given away. Do I believe in it? Well, I just you've said it before. I've just seen it on one of the other channels, and we're 7th in the table. So we're not exactly short of a couple of bob, are we? That's for sure.
Why ain't nothing? Yeah.
But yeah, we're supposed to be skint as arseholes, but how'd you work that one out?
I don't like to say Sullivan's playing the game, right? But if he is playing the game, he's got the whole of his fan base hooked on the singer at the minute. Yeah, I don't believe it though. I believe there's more to it than this, because when people say, "Oh, we done this last season," to this season are two completely different ball games altogether. Right, we've got so much going wrong this season, right, or this window. Like we don't know where Lucas Paqueta is going to be. We don't know whether Antonio is going to be here. We are short on dough, but we are, because like listen, we've spent 100 million over the last few years. So like, what does me is there's nothing concrete coming out. There's it's links. I'm seeing links everywhere, but I'm not seeing anything where people are going, right, I'm going to nail down this target. Now, Raphael Onyedika, was massively linked with West Ham, and that's gone completely dead.
Yeah,
I mean, literally dead in the water. And someone told me, James, like it's on the cards. Yeah, it's just a waiting game there. And I don't know, mate. I don't know. I'm concerned, Tone. I really am.
I think that's the key thing, isn't it? I mean, we're in all these links to this player, that player, and then this is going to be done like you say, the Onyedika one that's supposed to be done and dusted. But why are we not getting these things over the line? Is it the case of Sullivan's low blocking, Macaulay and Potter, or is it the case of he's waiting for the club, or he's opening for the other club to turn and say, okay, we know you've come in for him.
Yeah.
We'll drop the price a little bit so we can get the deal done. It just doesn't make sense.
Well, nothing surprised me with Sullivan though, mate. If you want me to be honest. And the thing was, this is one thing that I've said for a while, is that wait till they clash on a player. That's the next thing that's coming. Is that like Potter will want a player of X amount, but then you got Sullivan with his sort of agent friends, like saying someone completely different who doesn't fit might not fit the profile. The data on him might not be as good. Now, there's this geezer out in Belgium. I've done a video on Monday, only a short video. I know nothing about this kid other than he's had played 101 appearances for Belgium's Anderlecht, scored 13 goals in his career. Like, he looks decent, but yeah, that's it. Do you know what I'm saying? So I just don't know why nothing's happening. Like, it's like we're fucking trying to build an house with no cement. It's true, Tone. Like, I've never like. We need a major rebuild. What do people think? We're just going to go bang, 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 and sign about 7-8 players in 1 year? It ain't going to happen like that, mate. That's what I believe, anyway.
I think the problem is with that is we set the precedence in the last window in the last summer.
Yeah,
you know, all them players we've bought. Why we're not doing it again? Because we apparently we ain't got to put the piss in. We can't do that anymore. And it is mightily concerning, the fact of nothing is happening. At least someone said it in the stream I did earlier. At least with Steiden, as much as he kind of went a bit peaked on near the end,
right.
He went out somewhere. So ain't got done. I'm not seeing that with Macaulay.
Yeah, but Macaulay's not a fucking go-getter, is he?
No, he's not. It sounds like what the club's doing is basically putting him on this pedestal and saying he is that.
Do you know what it feels like? Feels like the club are setting up Potter and Macaulay. That's what it feels like to me, that they're setting them up to fail. And Macaulay's not a geezer that's going to go out and secure a deal. He's the man who finds the talent and he hands it over to the man, basically the negotiator, to go and to get the deal done. And like, it just feels arse upwards again. Now, the end of the week will be like, well, Monday will be July the 1st. And, you know, I just hope West Ham announce a few free transfers of some note, because that's when we're going to know on Monday. Like, if free transfers come in, then that's what we need. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like Carl Walker-Peters, that seems to have died a death. That's gone.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? And I'll keep hearing about Jonathan David. I'll be stunned if Jonathan David turns up West Ham.
Can't see it happening. I mean, someone mentioned it earlier. He's already gone. He's going somewhere else. Going to Europe. He ain't coming to us. So if he's ambitious like it sounds like he is, what's he want to come to us for? We can't attract a player like that.
But there is another player out there who's on a free transfer. Well, there's two, in fact, and that's Brownhill and Dominic Calvert-Lewin. The Calvert-Lewin one, I'm going to be straight, makes a lot of sense for Sullivan. Not for us, but for Sullivan. Mm-hmm. He's cheap. He's a name. He can offer him $100,000 a week, right? And basically, if he does all right, he's got a sell-on value. That's what Sullivan's thinking. He's thinking, well, you know what? I'll get him for nothing. If he does a year and he's not all that, I can sell him for 15, 20 mil.
And the worst part about it on that, he'll class him as a token signing. That'll be our token signing.
Yeah, that's why I'm concerned. Now, the Tyler Morton thing does make a lot of sense to me. X said it a few weeks ago, and I think that's a good signing. I think if you go if you've been watching the under-23s or under-21s, I think he's all right. I think he's not too bad. I think he needs to go to a club and bed himself into there. I don't know where that leaves Freddie Potts and Orford and all these boys. That's the, because if we're going out signing players, then what are we doing with our own players? That's another sort of concern. What are you saying on that, Tone?
I'd like to say, I mean, look, one thing is what Potter did when he came in, at least he played a couple of the youngsters, and it was good to see it because we never saw that really under Moyes. We didn't see it under the other one. So we want to see more of that. It just kind of stinks that we are struggling, and that's even I'm struggling for words, because when you look at it, you said it already. We're not seeing anything happening, and we're creeping into January 1st. This is obviously when apparently the 10-day window opens on Kudus and his release clause. So we'll see what interest goes on there. But the youngsters, if we're looking to kind of just, as you said, free transfers, then they've got no chance. And they need to go back out. They're either going to be, loaned out, or they're just going to sit in the reserves and that. And then before you know it, they want to be out. They want to get out of the club.
But where's it? I asked this to the chat. Is why is it going like this? That's where it loses me. People say, "Oh, we spent a lot of money last year and we failed signings and all that." No, listen. Last season was a disaster from start to finish, but we did sign some good players in there. Wan-Bissaka's a good signing for value. Mm-hmm. Somerville's not bad. Whether people think on Somerville, I think Somerville's not that bad. There's other players that we've signed, like Kilman, that people are a bit 50-50 on. Did we overpay for Kilman? Yes, 100%.
Yeah, 100%.
Right? He's not a £40 million player, but we knew that last year. And people kept saying, oh, it's English tax and all this bollocks, right? So we knew that. What I don't understand is now we're going back to basics with a manager that isn't really being handed the tools to do the job. And this is where I do feel for Potter a little bit, mate, if I'm being honest, because I think Potter's been set up to fail.
Yeah.
If I'm being real.
Yeah. Well, as you said, it comes down to one person. And if he's definitely showing a clear lack of confidence in this manager, in the whole setup. It just kind of beggars belief that a club like us now, we put ourselves in this position. Last season, like you said, we wanted to just wipe off the face of the earth. We wouldn't forget about that. They don't recall that season. The fact that we signed all them players, and out of all of them, it looked good at the time. But when you go over it, and if you want to be like a statter and that and go for all the bits and pieces, suddenly it's a case of those 10 players, 2, possibly 3 players shine out.
Yeah. That's what it is, like, and it angers me. And I've roused with people on Twitter where people go, "Oh, you're fucking negative and all this bollocks." Right? It's not being negative. Like, pre-season starts in about 4 weeks' time or 3 weeks' time. That's the start of pre-season. So then what? Like, if we end up at the start of pre-season and we've still got the same shit here from last season because we can't shift them. We've not decided what we're going to do with Mikel Antonio, then I don't know where we're going. I really don't. And if West Ham are waiting to right at the end of the window to go out and get a couple of players, like they usually do, then they're playing a dangerous game, mate. Do you know what I mean? They're playing a dangerous game.
Yeah. Because it stinks of that, doesn't it, straight away? The way it's going at the moment, it'll stink of that. It'll literally be the case of, we did try, but... And that's all you're going to get out of them. And the pre-season stuff for me is the telltale signs. If we don't see it right in the pre-season games, then it sets it up for where the season is going to begin. And it don't read well. It definitely don't read well.
Shout out to this. Come on, you Irons. Thank you very much, mate, for the £2. You know what I'm saying? And enjoy yourselves. That's what I'm going to say on that. For me, like, Tony, what it is I'm trying to get X on this week, right? And I spoke to the boys, and they know that I've been trying to get X on. X might come on Thursday, nice. So I'm gonna try and get him on and like ask him questions that need to be fucking answered, really, because for me, I need to start seeing something happening, and the longer it goes on, where we're not really, are we really looking at signing people? Or are we just being linked with loads of people? Like, because listen, West Ham are always linked with people, but I don't see no one being signed. Like we've identified a target. That's the target. Unless, and this is the one thing before I hand it over to you, mate, unless they've already got deals lined up that we don't know about. That's the only thing that is swaying me a little bit, where I'm thinking, have West Ham got a couple of free transfers that they're going to announce on July the 1st? I don't know.
That is a possibility. I mean, X did post a thing saying, like, be patient, people. We are working behind, they are working behind the scenes, and something will come out. But that was two and a bit weeks ago. And still nothing's come out. So if he is on Thursday, just reword that to him and tell us what it is? Because
yeah, we are a patient bunch, but now we're becoming impatient, isn't it? For fuck's sake, you know what I'm saying? Like,
like clutching at straws FC all of a sudden we've become, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know, mate. I know. Like, it's very hard. It's very hard to sort of get excited about it. Do you know what I'm saying? And this window for me is massive. Now, obviously, with Potter, and I feel like I feel people are going, oh, like Macaulay, like you said about why ain't Macaulay doing these deals. I'm going to be straight. He's not there to do that. Like I don't look at Carl Macaulay and go, fuck me, you've got to get the deals over the line. Like, do you know what I'm saying? And that's where Sullivan fucking irritates me, mate. He really does, because he's the one who we've got to trust in this. And like the other day, the bid for the Mario was like £8 million, and they want 17 million or something. Do you know what I'm saying? And then I've got people on Twitter turning around saying to me, "Oh, you don't know what it is. You got to go in low."
Not
And I'm
that
thinking,
low.
yeah, do you know what I mean? So like fucking, and I said to these people all week, I said, you do that when you got an house to sell. All right, mate. Yeah. Right. If you're trying to sell your house for £500,000, right, and someone comes in and says, well, I'll give you 250,000 for it, you're going to say fucking no straight away and be insulted. Do you know what I mean? So I don't know, man. I don't know. Like the goalkeeper situation at the minute, seems like we're going around the houses with the goalkeeper. 1 minute it's Ramsdale, next minute it's the Leicester goalkeeper, then it's Petrovic from Chelsea. What do you make of the Leicester goalkeeper, Tone?
Yeah, we were saying on the show we did earlier, a couple of people mentioned the keepers there, and then it's like, yeah, nah. I mean, it's bad enough we linked with Ramsdale, but they just shipped as many goals, so it don't bode well.
Mm.
So we need to look for, if we are going to go for another keeper, we need to kind of. I mentioned Trafford. Go for him. You know, there's also Pope. He's available. Another, you know, so two good. There's two keepers there straight away. They've got a bit of credence behind them. But the Leicester keepers and that, you know, even the people in the chat said like, nah, steer clear of them.
I think Trafford's going to Newcastle. Pope ain't a bad goalkeeper. I mean, like he's always been a reliable goalkeeper.
Yeah.
Right. I see what Samsey said in the chat there. He said, you don't think goalkeeper's a priority. I think it is when you're playing this system that you're trying to play next season. If you're going to play the ball out the back and you've got a goalkeeper in Ariola who's no good at the ball to feet, we're going to concede shit tons of goals from our own making. And that's the last thing we need to do is start doing that. Do you know what I'm saying? Like even Brozovic is saying there, quickly just to add on to this time, where is it? I think Pope to Leeds.
Well,
I think,
so, you know, and this is the sickening part as well, mate. All these players we've been linked to and that, and we just let them slip through their fingers. Like bloody water. It's disgraceful. You know, what we could have signed over the years, and especially last season, some of the players we could have gone with. You know, and we fall short. Like you said, 60 million. Yeah, we're going for 8. That'd be they're going to snap my arm off. It's bad. It's crazy. What the hell does this board think, or you know, Sullivan think that? Yeah, we can go on the cheap and that. I ain't fucking buying a full Escort at the end of the day, are you? You know, you want something a bit more niche that's going to do the job for you.
Let me ask you something, all right? And we discussed it on your channel back in January when he signed. What do you think Sullivan said to Potter that what he would get in the summer? Because and I'll ask this to the chat and all right now. That's the $1 million question of what he sold him. If I'm being honest.
See, I also look at the other way around. Potters must have said something to Sullivan to convince him, because when you know, it sounded like it was a 6-month deal, and then suddenly it's 2.5. It's a 2.5 year deal. So they've obviously come to some agreement somewhere along the line. Sullivan must say, "I'm going to give you X amount if you can do this."
Yeah.
But if he's going on a performance based, then surely that's now damaged his worth, and he ain't going to get the money. And we've seen it now. So either the case he's going by Potter's style and performance with the team, and it's all about results business. If he ain't getting the results, then no doubt he's only going to get so much given to him. But yeah, I agree with you. Something's got to be said. Sullivan's either said, I mean, we know Sullivan's an hard baller to move the post, and he didn't really like Potter in the first place. He's gone with him for some particular reason. Is it the case of he was the only one available at the time? And I say Potter must have said something, or he's done something to please him, and that, and yeah, he gets a 2.5-year deal, but we're not seeing anything that kind of backs it up.
I think Sullivan's playing a bit hardball here because he's not his man, and what it is, Sullivan's nose is out of joint because of Lopetegui. Yeah, that's what I generally believe. Yeah. I believe when he picked Lopetegui, he thought he was doing he was going to be like the dog's bollocks, but when it all sort of blew up in his face, it's made him look like a bit of a prick. Now we've hired a man that isn't even ours, if that makes sense. It was a Brady appointment. Yeah, and something that Damien says, and shout out to Damien wherever he is. It was just a scroll in a notebook of a phone to find Graham Potter. It weren't even like it was like a quick solution to the problem. Did you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And for me, when I look at that and I look at the way we are, I just feel like he's got him in. He's through Brady, and that's it. Like there's no plan here. Like they've got a break clause in their contract that ends next season, but then he's bringing in loads of people currently right now for like data analysis and psychology and all that. Like he might not even be here in a year's time, and that's the way. Like, do you know what I'm saying? And unless West Ham are going to pull the most biggest bluff I've ever seen in my life, yeah, and they're going to go out and they're going to sign some players and they're going to be top quality players, but to not even sign no one at the minute, like we're signed to Debo, who was originally going to come. Daniel Cummins has come, he's here. Yeah. But the worrying thing for me, Tone, is two things. One, we can't flog no one at the minute. No one wants our players.
Damaged goods, mate.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
damaged goods.
And the second thing is that when we're getting linked to players, all I'm seeing is a link. Oh, we're linked to some Danish striker out in fucking Copenhagen or somewhere, yeah? Or we're linked to some Belgian player. But no bid's been made. There's no sort of acceleration into making the bid or making it happen or anything like that. It just feels like what are we doing? Do you know what I'm saying? We're doing nothing.
Going for the motions. Literally going for the motions and hoping that something's going to happen. And I think there's Sullivan all over, isn't it? It's just a case of surely someone's going to come in and say, like, I want that player. You know? There was something I saw the other day, and I don't know how true it is, about Antonio. Apparently they're going a 2-year deal, about £50-odd million over the 2 years. Don't know how true that is, or it's just one of the RTK things in that. But is he the answer? You know, he's.
Do you know what he is? Right. And listen, I've had a mixed relationship with Antonio over the years, but on this one, I feel that it's a get out of jail free card for Sullivan if he signs Mikel Antonio. That's what I believe, and that's what he's hoping for. He's hoping that Mickey signs that deal, so he can turn around and say to the fan base, "Well, I don't need a striker now. I've got Krug, I've got Antonio, and you got Cummins who's just come in. We don't need a striker, right?" And it's like it's a free pass again. Do you know what I'm saying? And the argument is that do you get rid of Antonio, right, without no replacement? Because if we ain't got no money, how are we supposed to replace this guy? How are we supposed to replace him with a centre forward? Like, it's very, very difficult, isn't it, Tom?
It is about, because when you think, you look at the strikers, Antonio, Krug. Who else is there really? And then you go down at the other end of the pitch. It's like you've only got Areola, and really you got Fodringham. I mean, Hugo, the young lad we've loaned out. What's happening with him? If he's supposed to be the next thing, why is he not here? Well, are we going to see him in the friendlies? Let's see what his worth is. Otherwise, we're stuck with we've got a keeper that is a little bit suspect, and we've got another one. You've got more chance of seeing the invisible man than seeing where's Fodringham.
Yeah, but do you know what? It wouldn't surprise me, mate, if he's second choice next year. It wouldn't. It would not surprise me in the slightest, because what I think he was told is Fabianski's going to leave. Yeah, he's going to retire, and you're going to be number 2 to Areola. And I understand the goalkeeper links, I really do. But if he looks at it, right, where's Fulton going with his career? He's only 31. Do you know what I'm saying? He can go and play in the championship and get a championship club and be playing every week, unless he's told that he's going to be second choice. Now, that's a possibility. That really is, and that would not surprise me. The goalkeeper situation is baffling beyond belief. But on that one, it wouldn't surprise me if he's second choice, mate. Do you worry about Potter next year, mate? Because on last season, right, I was so angry with Potter. I mean, so angry, because I was looking at him and thinking, well, I've not seen nothing from you. Now I'm in a bit of a situation with Potter where I think he's being literally set up to fail here, and there's nothing any of us can say about him. Like, if Potter starts shit next year, am I going to really have to go in on Potter when the problem is the summer? Now, this could all change, don't get me wrong, right? In 6 weeks' time, West Ham might have 5 players. Yeah, 5 good players, and things might look a bit different. But nevertheless, it just feels like to me that Potter's been set up big time. And McCauley to a point. Yeah. Anyone who called him McCauley out, I don't know what to say. Yeah. The issue with Steiden, with me, was Steiden kept fucking off to fucking Brazil all the time, backwards and forwards to Brazil. And I'll never forget the January window, right, when we needed a centre forward. And there was a player, Hugo Ekitike, who was playing for PSG at the time. And he kept fucking off to Brazil. And we could have got Hugo Ekitike from PSG on a loan deal for the rest of the season. Yeah. Right? Didn't get him. He ends up going to Frankfurt, and now he's on the verge of a big move somewhere else now. Oh, no. It's just, like, do you think he's set up, Potter?
It's aiming that way, isn't it? I mean, when he first came in, like, I think we've spoke about this before, when you think about that, the Villa game, the cup game on the Friday night, he came in, and it's like, hello, this don't look bad, actually. Setups looks good. Players look organised. Looks like we're seeing something here. And this is only 5 minutes we're seeing of it. And we got hoodwinked in that point. But then, as it went on, we saw the January window come along. Again, nothing. And now, we're still seeing nothing. But the problem for me is that season that he's been in charge, the fact that he got a lower marking than Avram Grant, for one, and then looking at certain games where we should have won them, or at least drew, and his changes, there are some weird decisions he made in the substitutions, on the tactics, and straight away, the alarm bell starts ringing. And I'll make you right. If he doesn't get this season kick-started off right, the fans are going to be on his back. We've already seen that in games. He's getting booed off the pitch. I agree. But he gets it right every now and then. But then he takes 4 steps backwards. So you got to wonder what he's going through his head. Is it the case of, is it frustration from his point of view? Because he knows the ball to kind of literally tying his hand behind his back. Now we're seeing he's being basically kind of trussed up and nothing's going on. And I make you right. Sullivan's probably is hoping that, we're going to sell some players on, because no doubt he's, for as much of the twat he is, he's also a proud man. He spent a lot of money out. He's bought a manager in Lopetegui that was absolutely useless.
Yeah.
And then he's brought in him just to hope that it'll turn the tide.
Could there be a situation where Potter walks, mate?
If you don't get the backing and the support, then he's got every entitlement to walk away. And would you blame him?
But does it make him look bad if he walks? Because you've got to look at this from two sides. On the one side, if he's being hung out to dry, yeah, then he's got every right to walk away from the situation, right?
I agree.
If he did walk away, the fan base needs to fully go in on Sullivan. Like fully. Like no sort of, right, he wanted to change it up. If Potter is literally said, right, I'm gonna walk away because of the current circumstances at the club, then it only goes back to Sullivan again. Do you know what I mean? Lying through his teeth to get what he wants. Do you know what I'm saying? On the other side of the coin, there is a man there that if he does walk away, does he make him look bad to a point?
I suppose if you look at it in that sense, he's get a jail card. It's the fact of, and I jokingly say this and that. Obviously, he was manager at Chelsea,
right?
So the damage is already done there because he should never have gone to that club in the first place. That was the worst thing he did. Does he have any kind of face for walking away from us if it does happen? I think people, first of all, would be annoyed and think, coward, you've left us in the lurch and this and the other. But if they sat back and looked and basically examined it, then I think they'll turn around and say, I can see his point.
Yeah.
And I think they'll kind of actually say, you know what, fair play to you. You did a decent thing. You saw the damage it was causing. You could see that if you're not getting backed, what's the point of being somewhere where every turn you make, there's a fucking brick wall going up in your face? Where does it start? Where does it end?
I do feel like that is the case at the minute, though, isn't it? Let's be honest. Like it just seems like it's hurdle after hurdle. Like I've never known this with West Ham. Never. Yeah, I understand what Mark said in the chat just a minute ago. He said like we had a season of thinking that we was going to end up in Europe, and we didn't. Like basically we've overspent. That's all well and good, but now we're in a situation that we're running out of assets, like sellable assets at that. And I think Gio said it on one of his videos, and shout out to that man. The next season there might be like 60, 70 million pound where you got to find or something, right? The next person on the list is Bowen. Like I don't know, like what's Bowen thinking, son, really, in this situation?
His head's got to be turned. There must be in the back of his subconscious, he's thinking to himself, as much as I love coming here and being unloved, and I love the club, the setup, and everything else. Well, say the setup, the fan base, and the relationship I got with there. You can't tell me he's not thinking. I've signed a long-term contract. Is it time for me to jog on?
True.
And surely, as much as he ain't going to admit it, he's thinking it. Or it's reared up in his conscience every now and then. I'm sure it must have done, mate. Especially last season when you look at it win. But if he stays, then you can't build it around with just one person. We need a spine to be built around. But looking at that, he needs support with the right players. But unfortunately, like you said, what have we got to pass on? We've got a squad that was aging. We've got rid of those kind of type of players. We've still got certain players we know that are not the standard we expected them to be. We've got a midfield and that. You've got more chance of the England walking team that will move faster than what they do.
True.
And that's where we got exploited. We've got, someone's just mentioned there. I mean, I see your stream you did about Emerson. We knew that one was on the cards, and now it's been confirmed. I mean, that's a loss in itself. The Paqueta situation, that's just got getting boring now. We just want an answer on that one.
What do you reckon on him? I think he gets banned.
The FA want a scapegoat. They've
True.
got it. Why do you think they're holding this off and off and off? Because they're just trying to find something to stick it on him. Because at the moment, everywhere they're turning, they're losing out. You know, the mobile phone thing. Look at that. Can we have your mobile phone, mate? Yeah, let's have a look through that kind of thing. There. Why is the mobile phone back on that? Oh, did you get that bit of info? Oh no. Can we have your phone back? I fucking got rid of it. They are just literally trying to. I mean, you've seen other players doing it recently. They've got away with it, no problems at all. They're back doing things. We've got a man here who's sitting here waiting for an answer, and all he's getting is told, like, you know, it's going to be the end of this week. Oh, it's going to be the end of the month. It's going to be in 2 months' time. And what you said earlier, if he is found not guilty, then him and us have every right to sue the arse off of them looking idiots. And then the worst part about it is that lot run, you know, English football.
That's why I think he gets banned, mate. Because what it is, you can't sue someone over a situation if he's been found guilty of a crime.
Of course. If they get him on that, then yes, definitely it's and then we lose out big time, basically.
I think he gets banned for about a year, 18 months. I'll be stunned if he gets away with it. Like, knowing what the betting companies are like, and fucking don't I know it, they will go down hard on this one. Yeah, and they will find anything they can, because obviously the money's been lost and that money's got to be returned somehow. So, you know, they're going to go after the person who does it. Like anyone who does a little bet from time to time, I see it on Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
I know mates of mine who do it. They place a bet, right, and they continuously place a bet on different outcomes, right? Their accounts checked and potentially shut down. Do you know what I mean? Or minimal stake. So betting firms are on the ball with it, and if he gets away with it and they find him not guilty, West Ham will sue the arse of him. Right, Sullivan definitely will. He'd be that fucking geezer will be first in the fucking queue. Do you know what I mean? Like with the syrup on. Do you know what I'm saying? So, you know, it's like that's a situation in itself. I've never known it to be so, what's the word? There's so much happening at West Ham, but nothing's happening, if that makes sense. Like, do you know what I mean? Like transfer wise, we don't know where we're at. Is that another potential situation, though, Tone? That West Ham are waiting to see what the outcome of Paqueta is before they start making their move, because that could also be a situation.
Good shout. I mean, there could be a possibility. I mean, not being funny, suddenly out of nowhere, we get told that, oh, yeah, if you don't pay, I forgot the club's name there.
CSK in Moscow.
That's the one. You know, Vlasic's money. Then, yeah, you might as well forget about signing anyone, because there'd be nothing. You won't be able to do any business. And it's like,
how we got into that situation? Fucking, do you know what I'm saying?
You know, well, COVID. Don't forget COVID. It's all to do with that. Money is still money at the end of the day, regardless of COVID and that. Money still exchanges hands. You know that full well yourself. And is it the case of, like, you know, what was the film? Brewster's Millions. Getting near to midlight, you know, it's going to cost you 20 million, and otherwise you're going to lose out of $300 million. And there we are, kind of thing. Oh, have you paid Vlasic money? What?
Yeah,
it's a joke, an absolute joke. How can you not remember that we still owe money to that club?
That's the embarrassing bit. And people were saying to me on Twitter, and I don't know why I fucking bother using Twitter. I think I use it because I've made some good relationships with people, like, over the years, and you know. But some people say to me, yeah, but they would have known this. Well, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you got yourself in this situation yet again through, like, being fucking stupid. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know with West Ham anymore, and I just feel like, I don't know what it is, but I feel like it's brewing up to get to a stage where it's just going to go bosh, and it's just going to go off. It's going to go like Burnley, but it's going to be, I think, like, it could be worse than that, if you want me to be truthfully honest. I don't know.
Well, there's more money with us than Burnley, isn't there? That's for sure. There's a lot more to lose in that respect, you know. The funny, I mean, people were saying about, you know, some of the deals and that, where's the money? You know, we've got a stadium, which is, you've got it on your picture there behind us. that we only pay £4 million for. And it's a case of, well, hold on, let's do the sums. Who's taking for all the gate receipts and everything else now? Where's that money going then?
I think it's just a collective tone of everything. I think it's the fans. I think it's the stadium. I think it's the ownership. I think it's just boiling up. And someone said it the other day about, "Oh, be patient." Like, and I read saying that, I mean, be patient, fans, and all these other sort of ITKs coming out with all this shit. Like, I'm not being funny, and I think if you've been watching West Ham for as long as I've been watching West Ham, and you have, Tone, this either goes one or two ways. And there is no middle on this one. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, we're asking Potter to basically perform miracles with fucking idiots. Do you know what I'm saying? And the thing is, what's worrying is if that was Jared Bowen up for sale this summer, and we were trying to flog him for 80 million, 85 million, you'd have people queuing up outside the door for him. Yeah. With the Mo situation, I don't believe the club are going to get what they want. So there's going to be a bit of a, tug of war, so to speak, where on the one side you got a club like us who are dying for money. Well, we're desperate. And then on the other side, a club's looking at us and thinking, well, Mo's there. Let's see what we can get out in the world. If we can't get that, we've always got that as a backup plan. And the longer the window goes on, the less of the fee's going to be. I don't think West Ham are getting anywhere near fucking 85 mil. I think they'd be lucky if they get 60 mil, if I'm being honest.
Yeah. I think that's the thing now. That shows signs of desperation. Like I said, no one came in the transfer in the summer window last year when they did that 10-day window. No one even sniffed towards Kudus, and that's when he was That's when he was good with us.
True.
Now he's had this season, and also basically, he devalued himself. And then we're going to, 1st of July, I've got the 10-day window again. And you said, no one's going to look at that price. They're going to come in with a silly figure. I mean, we've seen it with Spurs and Arsenal banding 50 million for him. So what, we're going to take a £35 million hit?
I can't have him going to Spurs, mate.
Oh, mate.
That would be the fucking cherry on top of the cake if Mo goes to Spurs. Like, it'd be typical of us that we don't do business with Tottenham. We don't like Tottenham. And then when we're on our arse, we're going there with a begging bowl to Tottenham. It's just, and then I look at that and I think, fucking hell, like, what is that about? Do you know what I mean? Is there a situation, Tone, that, I don't know how to say it, but is there a situation that he don't go and he stays with us this season? Or at the very least till January?
Well, there was a thing, I think it was on, I don't know if it was Sky Sports or somewhere else, but they did say that as much as he favours the move, he's also happy to stay as well. And when I heard that, I looked at it, I thought, are they talking about the same player? Because his body language during the season told you one completely different thing. He wanted not to be here. But they're certainly saying that, he's up for the move if it happens, but at the same point, he's willing to stay. And it's like, nah, I don't believe that.
I think let me get this right. I think he is up on offer from Sullivan because they're skint.
Yeah.
And they've got no other sellable asset. I don't believe Sullivan would sell Mo if he had another sellable asset, right, of value, right? Say, for instance, Lucas Paqueta wasn't in this situation. I don't think Kudus goes anywhere. I think Kudus, and I look at people, when people say that about him last year, I'm very mixed on that, right? Don't get me wrong, he wasn't great last year, but none of them were great. It was only Bowen and Souček who sort of carried this team for the whole of the time. But if he starts off well, like just for argument's sake, in pre-season he looks good, we think, because he's got a new lease of life, and then we go and sell him. Do you know what I'm saying? So that'd be fucking typical, wouldn't it?
Yeah, the West Ham way, as I say, mate. I mean, for me, like the way I see it, I understand about the kind of the mixed feelings on the Kudus last season. I still say to this day, it was the Spurs game when he got himself sent off when he purposely got himself sent off. Let me add that in there. And that because obviously he didn't want to play under Lopetegui. He had enough. Because you watched as the season went on, even when we got rid of Lopetegui, we got Potter in and that, and he did score goals. There was no celebration. There was no happiness on his face. It just kind of showed it. This is a bloke that was doing bits, but at the same point, he wants, it was a case of I don't want to be here. Out of the clubs, if he is going to move on somewhere, I said it earlier, then for me, if it's going to be Newcastle, then I'd rather let him go there than anywhere in North London, put it that way.
I completely agree. Would you take Harvey Barnes in the deal?
In a heartbeat, mate. Because that kid can do something.
I think that's a good. I think he's a good player, Harvey Barnes. The only problem with him, he gets a bit injured. It's a bit too much for me. But he hasn't really played at Newcastle. And the only time he does play is when he scores against us.
Yeah. Well, if that's the case, we might as well have Callum Wilson and all kind of thing. At least we know there's 2 Newcastle players that ain't going to score against us for a change. Yeah, that'd be one thing there. Harvey Barnes. Yeah, that's a no-brainer, really. Have him.
I think he'd be a brilliant player under Potter. I really do. I think he'd be suited. Do you know what I'm saying? And I think he needs to rejuvenate his career. I think his career's going a bit down the pan at the minute.
Yeah, fun enough. Mama Flossie in that she was saying apparently Barnes and Gordon are looking to be. The club are looking to move them on.
Yeah.
So if that's the case, and this is the thing with us again, James. There's an opportunity to get 2 decent players there, or a player, but as always, we'll just let it slip through the net, and someone else will snap them up.
Yeah, it's going to be worrying, mate. Honestly, and I can understand the frustration from everyone's time. That's what it is.
Absolutely. Let me put it to you like this way, and that when you think about it, you've got a sellable asset kind of thing, and then we kind of let it go through our fingers. If you look at what we've got currently in our squad, you've already mentioned it. What is really a sellable asset? And the 3 main players you're looking there is obviously Kudus, Bowen, and Wan-Bissaka.
Yeah,
we are not an appealing club at this moment. We're not appealing at all. And no doubt any player that's looked at us and seen how that season was, that season's fucking damaging.
He's really, yeah.
We're still feeling the pain now. What players really? We've literally got to kind of throw the kitchen sink to try and get someone to come and join us.
Yeah, but where's that gone wrong, mate? Because last summer, yeah, let's go back to last summer, right? Moyes had just left. Lopetegui had arrived. The fan base was split on Lopetegui, understandable, because some people had their hopes up, believing that they was going to go and get these fucking high-end managers, but then they forgot who owns the club. Mm-hmm. Nevertheless, right, last summer, the atmosphere was better. It's very dead at West Ham at the minute.
Yeah.
I'm not, trying to do a video fucking on here is hard work. just to try and get something to fucking talk about, because there is just literally fuck all to talk about at the minute. Well, we're linked with so many players. We're not no closer to signing anyone, and no one's leaving.
I'll quote what Trosh said earlier. At the end of the day, and that it's not a case of being deluded. It's about being a realist. And if you look, and he's dead on what you're saying there, because the worst part about it is when Lopetegui came in. Me and you spoke about this when it first happened. Because of what happened at Wolves, for me, the jury was out. This bloke's done it once. He could do it again. And then as we see it went on, it was frightening, because from the squad we did have and where it should have gone, slowly, one by one of that, he was deconstructing what we had from, And I know, as you said, the fan base was very divided on Moyes, but what you had with Moyes in certain respects, there was stability there.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a certain style of play. We all knew what that basically was. But this man then comes in and it's a case of like, I'll try to bring my way of football in, but at the same point, I'm going to try and mix up with what Moyes did, and it just didn't work.
I can understand it with the Moyes thing. Yeah, I didn't agree with it at the time, but at the end of the day, I thought, right, he's been here a long time. If you want the club to progress, can we go down this route of playing the style of play that he's playing? When I look at it now, I think basically, I don't know what style we're playing next year. Do you know what I mean? Good night, Michael. Take care,
Michael.
Right. And the thing is I don't think it's about style next year. I think it's about substance. I think we've just got to make sure we stay in the fucking league and just play all the games and try and win as many as we can to stay in the league. Like, if West Ham do what I believe West Ham are going to do, and they're going to leave it late in the window, I reckon they're going to start pre-season, they're going to sign one or two players, and then towards the back end of the window, that's when they're going to start attacking and seeing what players are surplus to requirements at other clubs. So if it's just for argument's sake, it's like Dewsbury or something, he ain't going nowhere. No one's picked him up. Oh, we'll pick him up on a loan deal. And it'd be, if West Ham go down that route and we've started the season off, like, listen, Sunderland away is going to be tough. And then we've got, we've got Chelsea, Tottenham, Palace, Forest away. Like, I don't want to be getting to the end of August and thinking, fuck me, we haven't won a game yet. Do you know what I'm saying?
I mean, I think I put the first 5 or so games in that. I thought us possibly picking up 4 points.
I think Sunderland's a nailed on draw for me. West Ham won't win at Sunderland, and I think they'll be up for it. But I think we can get a draw out of there, and then the win could come from anywhere. But knowing us, we could lose to Chelsea, and then beat Spurs. Do you know what I mean? That's what we're like. Do you know what I mean? So I don't know on that, but I don't know. Something's off. Something's massively off here, and I just need to see some action, really, rather than just. I see it on every other channel. Like, they're saying they're doing their stuff, and I'm thinking, but nothing's happening. It's just recycled shite all the time, isn't it? Like, you know what I mean? I mention a player, you mention a player, someone else mentions a player. You know what I mean?
It's like, you know, that stuff. What is that stuff? What are they actually doing? You know, give us. Just throw a branch out. Give us an olive branch. Let us know what you're actually doing, so we understand. They must realise that the fan base is fragmented because of what happened with that season. Surely he's got to realise that, you know, what damage it's caused, and they've got to do something about it this window. If they don't do that, then what you just said earlier, it just kind of sums it up.
Do you know what I think's going to happen? Quote me on this, big time. If Antonio doesn't sign, it's just come to me. I think they sign Calvert-Lewin, West Ham, because what it is, it'd be a free transfer either way. There's no transfer fee. Yeah, sign on fee. So if Calvert-Lewin doesn't go anywhere, and Antonio says, no, I ain't signing, or, you know, plays up a bit, West Ham will go down that route. Yeah, it's apparently the agent is pushing for the move to West Ham, but obviously West Ham ain't too keen on it. But I know this club at the back of my fucking hand. As soon as the going gets tough, they will go out and try and grab whoever they can. Do you know what I mean?
Well, you meant how many times we linked with this player before? You know, it's about 2 or 3 times now we've been linked with him. And as you said, it'd be the case of, like, you know, there's everything aroused. We haven't got that player. Well, that one, the door's been shut on us, and I make you right. They're just turning and say, what's left on the list? Yeah, okay, let's bring him in then.
Yeah. What do you think, before we wrap this up, Tone, what do you think we need? I do think we need, like, the spine of our side sorted out. So that's goalkeeper.
Yeah.
I think we at least need one centre half at this club. Right, and so I think Maverick Panos is here next year. I don't think he's going nowhere.
Yeah, I don't think he'll go anywhere. Well, put it this way, that's a typical one. Who's going to want to buy him?
I think someone in Europe might, if they wanted to play, they could probably get him. But
Yeah,
I think he's not worth selling for the money that we're going to get for him. So we might as well keep him. Yeah. So I think we need a centre half. We're definitely going to need a left back, like because the
yeah.
Emerson thing. And they've quoted today saying £10 million. Like they want for Emerson. They fucking signed him a few years ago for 14 million for Rob Newman. Like just a piss take, right? So I think a defender, a left back. I don't know about right back really, because obviously, like, what do we do with Safal? Like, because obviously Safal's gone, and we're gonna have to replace him.
Yes, you need a cover there for right back, definitely. 2 centre mids, definitely need that. The winger situation, obviously, if Somerville comes back, let's see what fitness his standard will be, because he's obviously he's got to get himself up to match fitness for one.
Yeah,
And and obviously forwards, because we need to build the spot, build a spine. The rest of the team are built around it, but we haven't got that at the moment.
what do you think about Lewis Guilherme?
We saw glimpses. I mean, I think it was good to see near the end. He actually started to get some game time rather than the odd minute, 3 minutes, 5 minutes to have a game. It was actually good to see him get some game time under his belt. So there's a chance we may see more of him this year. I think he seemed to have kind of settled in a bit more, because that was a weird one for me. He wasn't favoured under Lopetegui. For some reason, Potter wasn't kind of keen on him either. But there was no indication or signs that he had a bad attitude or anything like that. There was no indication that Dad's good night, mate. There's no indications that he's causing disruption.
Yeah,
He just and when you see him come on at that, the kid tried. You don't mind a trier, but he's one of X men. So I would like to think that Potter recognises that I can see he can do something. If Somerville's going to be set back again with an injury, if he's not recovering fully from this injury, then really we've got to look at giving Guilherme more game time. But we've got to give the kid more opportunity. He's supposed to be the next thing. So let's if that's the case, then I won't say coach the shit out of him, but improve him. And if he is going to become in a year or so's time, 2 years' time, a sellable asset, then fair enough. Then you've got what you want out of the player. You've used that to the potential he's supposed to be revered for.
I think with him, it's a tricky one for me, because if someone said to me right now, if someone come in and said, we'll offer you 25 mil for him and we need the dough, is he worth selling? Because has he really done enough, or is it a case of this kid's going to take time? Now, my question on that is how long do you give him? Do you give him another year and hope he works out, or do you let him go, cut your losses, and try and go and build a side that Potter wants? Because I don't know, I don't see where he fits, Guilherme. Like, because West Ham's system next year, I believe it's going to be 3-4-3, right? I think it's that's what it's going to be. So where does Guilherme fit in that? Does he come in on the right when Bowen goes up front, or what? I don't know.
I see him more on if he's going to be anything, he'd be on the left outside myself.
Yeah,
and I think it is the case of, because you've got to think, you've got Kudus and Bowen fighting out for the right. They put Kudus on the left hand side, and he's not effective there whatsoever. The player goes in his shell. So the rightful thing is to, if it's not going to be Somerville, and if he's not match fit, then you've got to give this kid a chance, and we've got to see what he can do. Because I think if you take the reins off, you will. You see him. I think this season is the time for him to mature as a player and show. We've seen it. When he did come on, he's tried to actually go for goal. He's tried to create something. So if anything else, build on his strengths. get more out of the player, and also if they can do that side of things, and okay, we get a season, maybe 2 seasons out of him, because by then will it be 22, something like that?
Yeah,
we can get more than 25 million in that respect. That's what we've been we were renowned for. We develop kids. We sell them on for multi-million pounds. So let's, if we can, build him, develop him, and if it's got to be sold on, sell him on for more than 25 million.
Yeah, I completely agree, mate. Tone, any final words from you, mate, before I let you go?
All I say on this, mate, I mean, people in the chat, we're not trying to be negative. We're just looking at the whole situation where our club's been slowly, in certain respects, dismantled, and it's a sorry state of affairs, and it's something that we should never have been in the first place. The last season was definitely the nail in, and the worst to say is the nail in the coffin for the way we are.
Mm.
All we got to hope that change comes along, and if it ain't with the team, then please let it be the ownership that changes. That's what that's all I can hope for, because that's the key thing we need more than anything else. We need change up top.
I think clarity needs to be sort of mentioned. Yeah, I think people need to start coming out and telling us exactly what's going on. All this about selling to buy, I've never known a club to go down the road like this. And the thing is with this, this could drag. And clubs are not stupid. They fucking know. They know that Kudus is like the sellable asset at the minute.
The vultures.
So they ain't gonna,
the vultures. I mean, the main, like you said, the clarity thing for me, it's a good shout, because the one thing that stands out for me on this one, and that is Kretinsky. You've invested in the club, but then you're just sitting there doing cool. We don't really hear you say nothing. If you're that serious about investing into the club, then surely you want to see a bigger return on the money you've invested in the first place.
I'd love to know what they're discussing in the boardroom. I'd love to know, I'd just love to be a fly on the wall and say, listen and see what they're thinking, because the fan base is rattled at the minute, big time, right? I've got people coming at me, saying shit to me. I'm not being funny. I fucking knew this was coming. Do you know what I'm saying? Because
you said this for a long time, mate.
I was saying it for fucking ages that the tide will turn, and then when we're on our arse, Sullivan will start fucking selling all the sellable assets. And the thing is, when you do look at West Ham's side currently right now, we've only got 2, Kudus and Bowen. And we're lucky. We are so lucky. And St. Brozovic said, shout out to Brozovic, on a stream I done the other week, if Bowen was 2 years younger, Liverpool would have come in and took him.
Oh, mate. Yeah, we would have got serious money as well.
Yeah,
that's for sure. It's a great shout from him. So yeah, respect for that. I mean, the funny part about it, when you think about what's it, Prime, they do all this, was it All or Nothing?
Yeah.
I wonder if they actually come to us one time and say, we want to do a documentary of that. And Sally said, nah.
It surprised me.
Don't I don't in my business with Kretinsky and Tripp and so forth. No, thank you very much, but no thanks.
Yeah, I completely agree, mate. Right, Tony, I'm gonna let you go, mate. Take care of yourself.
Again, thanks very much, and people in the chat, don't forget, sub to this man. He's not bad. He does smile. He does smile on good days.
on occasion, right? Go over and follow Tone on Hammers. What's your channel called now? I keep forgetting what it's fucking called.
It's only changed once, mate. Bloody hell.
Yeah.
Hammers Football TV.
Hammers Football TV. Right. Go over and subscribe to him, people. Yeah, get into a friend.
Too much stalks, mate. That's what it is.
Fucking need it in this club, mate, don't I? Do you know what I mean? That's the only fucking problem. So I mean, one day I will be sober when Sullivan goes. Right, until that time, you know what I mean? It is what it is. Right, Tony, take it easy, mate. All the best to you. That's been Tony. Go and subscribe to his channel. My final thought on this video is this. We need to start seeing some action urgently and quickly. I'd love to see Tyler Morton and Omari Hutchinson at the club. I think both of them players would suit West Ham. They really would. Omari Hutchinson has worked with Potter before. I think he'll be a very good signing for West Ham. and I think he's a player that can come into his own and be very good at it. On the other players that we've been like linked with, like obviously Mario, strike ends. I'll be straight, like we're going for these players that we don't really know fuck all about. And are we in a situation where we're buying next gen fucking players, but are they ready for the fight? Because next season I think it's going to be a battle with West Ham. I'll be absolutely stunned if West Ham finish in the top 10. I think West Ham will. Do I think West Ham will go down next year? If we don't start off fast, then the possibility is that we'll be fighting uphill. And I don't think Potter scores enough goals to win games to get us out of the mess. And that's where I'm a bit concerned. And I think Leeds, Sunderland won't be bad teams. I think they'll be reasonably like good competition. I think Burnley will be very hard to beat at Turf Moor. So just need to see something from West Ham. I really do. And hopefully in the next coming sort of days, we will see that. Right. And we need to see something fast. If you're about tomorrow, 5 o'clock, right? Let's hope football is coming home, people. I will be doing a live watch along tomorrow at 5 o'clock. England under 21s semi final. England versus Holland. We meet them again after last year. We met them last year in the Euros, and we're going to meet them again this time around. So yeah, I'll be live at 5 for the 5 o'clock kickoff on that. Join me on there on that. Anyway, that's enough from me. Take care of yourselves out there. Be safe, be well, and I will see you again in the next one.